Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Waltham Park erupts. Residents call for urgent action over poor road conditions. Winifred Beach sanitation raises public health concerns. And later in sports, Dwayne Bravo retires from all forms of cricket. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here are the details. Waltham Park erupts in protest Friday morning following poor road conditions. One resident told TVJ News that they're fed up with the authorities for not addressing basic issues in the area.
There's a huge hole in the road right before it, right at East Avenue. And a taxi drop in there. So you know, so the rest of them go with tires and things, so them block the road.
There are public health concerns about the sanitation facilities at Winifred Beach in Portland. Chief Public Health Officer for the parish, Lorenzo Hume, has expressed disappointment with how the facilities are managed. He was speaking at the Portland Municipal Corporation's monthly meeting recently.
We inspected the Winifred Beach. We found breaches. 3 entities met them and note I said the minimum requirement for public health standards. Some are trying to work through, but Mr. Chair, the sanitary facility leave less to be desired. And therefore it is time enough that we move forward in having the sanitary facility or the general development of Winifred Beach to meet good standard, especially from my point of view, public health standard.
A St. Catherine Justice of the Peace is blasting counsel for the Greater Portmore Division, Gary Nicholson, for comments he made about the recent Bernard Lodge incident where 14 vehicles were damaged by stray horses. Mr. Nicholson pointed to a lack of lighting, signage and speeding as issues in the area. But JP Cleon Porter says the comments were reckless and premature.
Mr. Nicholson's remarks are premature as the investigation by the authorities is still ongoing. His comments suggest conclusion about the cause of the accident before any official police report has been made. These reckless remarks could potentially affect the insurance claims and compensation for the motorists involved. It is irresponsible to assign blame before the investigation is complete, and such statement may delay or even deny rightful compensation to the victim.
Mr. Porter is urging Mr. Nicholson to retract his statement and apologize to the motorists involved.
It is crucial to address the root cause of this accident. The animals straying onto the road, according to the National Works Agency, Section 17 of the Main Road Act, grants the police and the director of the agency the authority to impound or destroy animals trespassing on the main road. This law needs to be enforced rigorously across the island to prevent future tragedies. Section 22 of the same act stipulates that owners of animals tethered on or straying onto the road are liable to a fine.
A better internet, a topic on the table at the UN General Assembly that needs to be addressed. Romarda Lyons reports.
A stranger reading your child's diary. That's how Project Liberty, a company that promotes proper data management online, described the internet of today. At first,
the internet is a beautiful piece of technology that was designed to give us the ability to very easily and freely share information, get smarter, advance civilization.
But it has become something very different, something he described as creepy and harmful to children.
It has become a surveillance-based technology. In other words, the more information I can scrape and learn about you, the more I can profile you and, yes, as you mentioned, monetize that information by selling you things through advertising. These algorithms are making judgments about your personality, how you behave and how you react to information. So they're now highly manipulative.
There's no secret that Jamaican children are increasingly online. Social Security Minister Pernell Charles Jr. gave a personal example with his child recently.
My 8-year-old son perhaps doesn't know how to pick up a dictionary. And he's a top boy in his school. For him, it's just device. And that's how he gets all his information. And I get all upset all the time. I say, go get your dictionary. And he said, but it's right here. So there's just a shift in how the generation is thinking.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness in a presentation at the United Nations a few days ago.
New technologies such as artificial intelligence and robotics create new challenges to security and some livelihoods. However, they also create important opportunities, especially for young people, and hold great potential to empower generations to transform economies and to solve complex challenges.
He said there's need for emphasis on the importance of international cooperation to address the challenges and harness the opportunities for the benefit of people in developing countries. Project Liberty agrees.
It's just time that we recognize that this has gone off the track. The internet is not a bad thing. I'm pro-internet, I'm pro-technology, I'm pro-business, but not when it's technology and a business model that is exploiting people and harming kids.
Romarda Lyons, TVJ News.
Government Senator and consultant psychiatrist Dr. Sophia Longmore is raising concerns about the devastating impact of road crashes on young people. Dr. Longmore cited the long-term traumatic effects on students. She was speaking on Power 106's Morning Agenda Friday. Karen Simpson reports.
The concerns come after two separate incidents in Clarendon, which left one Vere Technical High School student dead and another injured. These tragedies have sparked worry among medical experts who stress the potential psychological toll on children witnessing such events.
Even you relating to me, I'm feeling it inside, to be very honest with you. That's how impacting, because you have different people absorb information differently. So as you were speaking about it, I'm literally imagining it in my mind. And that is enough to cause a reaction in me who is supposed to be trained to deal with this stuff. Imagine a child. Imagine a child who may be dealing with other issues in their life. And this on top of it. It is tremendously, tremendously heavy.
Dr. Longmore noted that social media has compounded the issue, making it even more challenging for young people to cope with the trauma of road crashes.
And with social media now, what is so very unfortunate is there's no filter. There's no filter to what our kids, there are restrictions that are supposedly that you are able to put in place, but realistically a lot of our parents, a lot of our caregivers don't have the time or the know-how to put those restrictions in place to limit what our children are exposed to on social media.
She says there's a critical need to address these issues, warning that the long-term consequences can be detrimental to a child's well-being.
It is also being shown to be related to some of the chronic lifestyle diseases and predispositions to such. Also some of the autoimmune diseases. So this stress is far-reaching and far impacted. Another thing that I have to mention is that what you're seeing, especially in our society, is that a lot of children, in seeking to deal with trauma when they cannot get the help they need, they're turning to self-medication. They're turning to trying, so they either sometimes self-harm, where they start to cut themselves because they don't believe that they're worthy.
Carrie Simpson, TVJ News.
We'll take a break. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Backyard gardening is coming back. The Agriculture Ministry says it will be launching an urban harvest program to help bolster food security. This following the ripple effects caused by Hurricane Beryl. Jamila Maitland reports.
2 months after Hurricane Beryl, and the agriculture and the fisheries industry is slowly making a comeback. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green says the Hurricane Beryl Recovery Program has made significant strides in stabilizing the agricultural sector, but more work is needed. In a bid to tackle food insecurity, he announced a backyard gardening program to start in October. Only a limited number of kits are available.
Under that program, Madam Speaker, we will be distributing 3,000 backyard gardening kits, especially across our urban centers, to ensure that we are focusing on food security.
Minister Green, who was providing the update in Parliament on Wednesday, says farmers have been receiving grants, seedlings, livestock and other forms of assistance, much of which will take a few more weeks to materialize and even months to break even. The impact of that, however, has been rising food prices. Fruits and vegetables like tomatoes, sweet pepper and lettuce have been in short supply. However, the ministry theorizes that prices should normalize in time for the Christmas season.
As we approach the Yuletide season, traditionally a period of increased demand for fresh produce, the outlook remains positive. The surge in the supply from various production areas will help to ensure that the prices for vegetables and fruits remain stable.
It's why backyard gardening is being promoted. Minister Green explained that households need to become more self-sufficient. In return, the agricultural sector builds resilience and helps to keep food prices within the inflation range.
Additionally, we will be for the first time distributing 250 vertical farms. We are going to be going into distributing vertical hydroponic farms. They can be indoor or outdoor because we have to embrace the technology in relation to food security. This application process will commence in October. It will be technology-based and on a first-come, first-served basis.
In the meantime, the minister also announced a fruit tree replacement program. 30,000 trees have been identified for distribution across the island.
I want to work with our MPs in this regard. And I'm now throwing out the challenge to MPs to come up with some fruit tree planting initiatives. I have allocated 30,000 fruit trees to be distributed among members of Parliament. We're going to do it first come, first serve. So I'm saying MPs, identify an area in your constituency, reach out to us. We will provide you with the planting material and the technical support. Let us start planting our fruit trees again.
Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
To a TVJ News follow-up, the family of a man who died during the passage of Hurricane Beryl is now thankful as they finally received help to bury their loved one. Calvin Lynn from Lynn's Funeral Home in Manchester says he felt the need to assist the family in a critical time like this.
We embalm and prepare the remains for burial, provided the casket, as you probably will see a little later on when they are loading up. And all that it requires to effect a burial. We did not charge them 1 red cent. I spoke to one person just this morning, came by, and especially from the section of our island, they suffered more hardship than us here in Manchester. To a lesser extent, yes, although we have serious damages. But I trust that they're picking up the pieces, and I can also take this opportunity to say that folks from that side rather approach us to assist them with planting materials, whether it be cucumber planting seeds or melon, and we assist.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
Jamaicans paid more for books and other back-to-school related items in the last year. These goods and related services are in the category recreation, sport and culture, as contained in the Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statin's latest Consumer Price Index Bulletin. The National Statistics Agency said average annual inflation for the year ended August was 4.7% for the category. For the month of August alone, these prices were up an average 1.1%. Statin says the increase compared compared to July were mainly due to higher prices for school books and stationery items. Further afield, the National Transportation Safety Board NTSB has issued an urgent safety warning for some Boeing 737s over a critical flight control that could possibly jam. The issue involves an actuator attached to the rudder on some models that could fail. The actuator can be found on Boeing's embattled 737 MAX line. An incident involving the issue was first reported on a United Airlines flight earlier this year. The pilots of a MAX 8 reported their rudder pedals stuck in the neutral position when they were landing in Newark. The Transportation Board is recommending that Boeing warn pilots and come up with an alternative solution. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Carrie Ann Simpson.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the U.S. has sanctioned former Haitian Parliament member Profane Victor and Grand Greffe gang leader Luxon Elan for their roles in supporting gangs linked to serious human rights abuses in Haiti. This action follows a UN report detailing unprecedented violence, including sexual and gender-based crimes. The sanctions block their U.S. assets and those of entities they control, reflecting the U.S.'s commitment to accountability through the Global Magnitsky Sanctions Program. On the international scene, Hurricane Helene made landfall in Florida's Big Bend region Thursday night as a Category 4 storm, the first of its kind since 1851. It hit near Perry, Florida with 140 miles per hour winds, but weakened to a Category 1 by early Friday. At least one death has been confirmed in Florida, with concerns about more as rescue efforts are delayed. Over 70,000 residents have been evacuated. The storm also triggered school and airport closures. President Joe Biden declared emergencies in several states. Over in Georgia, 2 fatalities linked to a suspected tornado were recorded. Shelters were opened for displaced students and residents. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Nakinsky Robinson.
We take another break. Sports is next.